accidents happen. And if you're going to ban tobogganing, what next? Ice skating, hockey, skateboarding, bicycling. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Oshawa, Ontario. And finally, some good news from the municipality where they will ticket you for feeding the homeless. You see, folks, there was a vote on Monday about banning tobogganing on all hills except for two in Oshawa, and that would include this hill here at Mount Joy Park. Now, before I get into the meat of the story, check out this hill. I know it kind of resembles the Rockies or the Alps. Actually, it's more of a berm than a hill. But here's the thing. How un-Canadian is that, the idea of a tobogganing ban? Now, allegedly, the councillor that suggested having this ban put into place, it was based on an Ottawa girl that died in a tobogganing accident. And that is indeed heartbreaking, and our hearts go out to the family of that little girl. But accidents happen, and if you're going to ban tobogganing, what next? Ice skating, hockey, skateboarding, bicycling. I mean, that is part of growing up, is getting involved in activities, and to ban them for a minute risk of serious injury or death, it doesn't make sense. Well, in any event, the Durham.com paper notes that after a contentious debate on Monday, Oshawa Council decided not to ban tobogganing despite a recommendation from the Community and Operations Services Committee that called for a ban on all but two hills. And by the way, does that part of the story even make sense, folks? If you're going to ban tobogganing because it's dangerous and potentially lethal, why would you allow it to happen on two hills? I mean, this sounds like the kind of follow the science arguments we heard with COVID, you know, following the directional arrows on in stores, because if you go the wrong way, you might get infected or something. Bizarre. And I must say, hats off to Ward 5 Councillor Brian Nicholson, who argued, quote, "There's no public support to do this," meaning restricting tobogganing to two hills in the city. "Parents have a responsibility for their children, and they look after their children well. They don't need Big Brother going around saying, this hill is okay to go on, this hill's not," end quote. As well, Ward 2 Councillor Tito Dante Marempietri said, quote, "We're never going to absolve ourselves 100% of risk and liability," end quote. But here's the crux of the matter, folks. 2 weeks ago, it looked like this tobogganing ban was going to go through. So what happened? Well, residents of the city of Oshawa bombarded councillors with text messages, emails, phone calls, social media postings. They were expressing their anger and outrage that such a thing could happen. And guess what? Suddenly, that ban on tobogganing, well, it went downhill faster than grease lightning. So the moral of the story, folks, our elected representatives, they work for us, not the other way around. So if you see something outrageous that is likely going to be passed, well, raise a stink, make a ruckus, draw a line in the sand or the snow as the case may be. Let our elected representatives know that proposed idiocy will not be approved by the vast majority. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, you know Rebel News loves to tell the other side of the story, but you also know we don't receive a nickel of government funding, nor would we accept it if offered. Therefore, we rely on you and your generosity. If you can please go to rebelinvestigates.com, that's rebelinvestigates.com, and make a donation, it would be greatly appreciated.